Hello crafters, welcome back for another video on my YouTube channel. I'm Yana Smakula and I'm here to help you have fun crafting. Today I have something very cool to share, the new reactive inks from Hero Arts. Now do not be fooled, these are not just the same old inks in new packaging. No, these are new formula inks entirely. This was a sneak peek of a project we'll be making in this video. In the meantime, I'm going to tidy up real quick. I, for some reason, never include this in my videos, the pre-filming part, but my messy desk looked so colorful and so fun, I figured why not show you how things look just before I typically hit the record button. So back to the inks. These are called Hero Arts Hero Hues Reactive inks, and at the moment they come in 12 beautiful colors. No, actually 15 colors. These are ideal for stamping and for creating colorful backgrounds. And this is what I'll show you in this video. I have several background ideas for you, all made rather quickly using these inks from Hero Arts. I will also show you the finished projects at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that if you'd like to see how I use these backgrounds. But my video is going to focus on the background making itself. For the first background, I wanted to try and create solid color ink coverage, an ink blend is seen on a card. Here I've already made masks using masking paper. I like to use masking paper in a roll. It's inexpensive and you get a ton of masking paper. I've cut one panel slightly larger than my card front. I die cut a circle inside of the panel, and my plan is to use both the positive circle and the negative mask for this background. I've placed the positive circle on the paper, trying to center it. Next, place the negative circle using the circle inside as a guide. This way, it was easier to get things aligned nicely. I removed the circle mask, and I'm just going to add a horizon line. The idea is to ink blend the sun, then ink blend the sky, and next add the sun's reflection in the water. So a rather simple sunset, but with unusual and different colors. Now for my ink blending, I typically like to use Ranger ink blending tools with a Spellbinder's blending foam. So not with the native foam that the tool comes with. The Spellbinder's foam is a lot more like a makeup sponge, and it holds and blends the ink so much better. The two foams don't even compare. It was actually when I switched to the Spellbinder's foam when I started to enjoy ink blending. The Spellbinder's foam is actually a little bit bigger, and it is thicker as well. Here you can see the two foams side by side. But with that being said, of course, these inks can be blended using any other blending tools, brushes, whatever you like to use. I have several kinds of ink blending tools in my stash, and I like the combo of Ranger ink blending tool and Spellbinder's foam the most. I've started ink blending the sun with a Fruit Punch ink, and I'm doing a very heavy coat of ink. Like I said, I want solid ink coverage, and thankfully it's very easy to achieve that with this ink. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it layers on paper beautifully. I'm going to remove my masks, reposition them, and keep on blending to work on this background. Now, this ink will react to water when sprayed, dripped, or misted, but you can also use it without water. In fact, all of the backgrounds I'm showing today were made without the use of water. I personally am not a fan of water-activated look, at least I don't always like it, so no water on these backgrounds today. I used taffy ink to blend the sky around the sun, and I just have to say, these colors are so vibrant, and the ink formula is so very creamy, and it goes onto paper like butter. I'm not using specialty paper, by the way. This is regular Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. It's the same paper I use for everything. And despite this being not the best paper for ink blending, the blending looks beautiful here. Now you can also use this ink direct to paper. This is how I'm going to make my sun's reflection in the water. It works beautifully when applied directly, and you do have to give it a couple of minutes to dry to look its best. Now note how I'm holding the ink pad. I'm not touching the entire surface of the pad to the paper. We will be doing that for the next background, but for this one, I'm rather holding my ink pad at an angle. And here's my background ready. I've actually made another one already. I made it some time ago, so it's all nice and dry, and I'm going to use this one right now to make a card. For this, I just white heat embossed a little scene from the Hero Arts From the Walt Beach and Sea stamp set, and this is actually the stamp set that I used to complete all of these cards today. For my second background, I went all direct to paper using the full surface of the ink pads. I started by applying Pool Party ink in the center of my panel, making pretty much an impression using my ink pad alone. I am swiping the ink pad a little bit and I'm wiggling to get more ink out, but I don't want a solid looking rectangle. I just want an organic impression of the ink pad on the paper. Next, using the same technique, I'm adding yellow. This is Lemon Drop, and I'm adding it in a few spots, building a background for my card. Next, I'm using taffy ink, again, adding it here and there, building the background. And lastly, I'm adding green in Key Lime Fizz color. And my background is ready. Super colorful and super easy to make. Now you can also use this ink as a watercolor ink. I don't have an example to show you in this video, but I'm looking forward to try and watercolor with this ink and make some cool watercolor wash backgrounds. Next, I have another background in mind, but this time I'm going for a bit of an ombre look, starting with blue raspberry and adding just brush stroke-like impressions on the paper. Here, I'm once again holding the ink pad at an angle and going direct to paper with just the edge of my ink pad to apply the ink. I used Key Lime Fizz, Pool Party, and Blue Hawaii ink to complete this look. Next one is my absolute favorite background of all the backgrounds I'm sharing today. I die cut some clouds using masking paper and cloud dies from the color layering sea and sky set from Hero Arts. And next I ink blended the entire background using Pool Party, Splash, and Blue Hawaii inks for an ombre looking sky. By the way, all of the supplies I'm using today, including all of these new inks, are listed in my video description below and also in the blog post associated with this video. So be sure to check there if you're looking to add these inks to your crafty stash. And if you ask me, you definitely should because these are awesome. I love how these inks overlap and how they blend together, giving me beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. I reapplied the masks, well, just the negatives, and gave a soft ink blending using the lightest ink color to the clouds to make them appear a bit dimensional. I didn't add any more ink to my ink blending tool, but rather used the ink that was already there to add very faint ink blending to the clouds. I did very simple stamping in black to turn these backgrounds into super simple cards. The color or the color combination is the main factor in these projects, so I didn't want to do anything else to spice these up, just stamping in black. I trimmed each panel to 4 by 5¼ inches. I film mounted it onto A2 white card base, and I called it done. I hope you'll give this idea a try. If you do, share online and tag me. I always love seeing what you guys are making. On the screen, there's a link to a playlist with all of my Hero Arts card tutorials. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.